Buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving headfirst into the biggest high-tech breakthroughs predicted for 2025.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a pretty interesting stack of sources for this one.
Yeah.
Including, I won't say is high-tech 2025, Tendencies A predictions, and a whole compilation of 25 tech predictions from some leading experts in the field.
Absolutely.
So we're talking robots as colleagues, AI making our decisions, even asteroid mining.
Wow.
It's going to be pretty wild.
What I think is so interesting about these predictions is that they're not coming from like science fiction writers.
Right.
They're coming from the people who are actually building this future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's happening.
So let's jump right into it with the AI revolution, because we've got Gartner, a huge research company, calling agentic AI their top tech trend for 2025.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it basically means software that can make decisions without human input.
Okay.
Almost like a digital brain
Got it.
making decisions for us.
Wow.
And Gartner predicts that 15% of our daily work decisions are going to be made by AI by 2028. So in just a few years.
Yeah, just a few years.
50% of the decisions I make every day at work are going to be made by a computer.
Imagine that your to-do list sorted your meetings scheduled,
Wow.
all by an AI assistant.
That's amazing
Yeah.
and kind of terrifying at the same time.
It is a little bit intimidating, I guess.
It is a little scary.
But it's also exciting to think about the possibilities.
Right, but what does this mean for someone like me? I
Yeah.
mean, am I even going to have a job in a few years?
I think that's the question a lot of people are asking right now.
Yeah.
Some experts believe that AI is going to create new jobs and opportunities,
Okay.
while others are worried about widespread job displacement.
Right,
But one thing is for sure, the way we work is going to change dramatically.
for sure. And speaking of AI that can think for itself,
Yeah.
there's one prediction that claims that a company will announce they've achieved artificial general intelligence in 2025.
Uh-huh.
AGI.
Yeah.
That's like the AI we see in movies.
Right.
Machines that think
Yep.
like humans.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that keeps some people up at night.
Is that even possible?
It's a highly debated topic,
Uh-huh.
but if it were to happen,
Yeah,
it would have massive implications.
for sure.
Think about it.
Yeah.
AI being capable of making scientific breakthroughs, coming up with personalized medicine.
Right.
I mean, the possibilities are endless.
It's mind-blowing. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed already.
Oh,
But there's more.
there's always more.
The release of GPT-5, OpenAI's next language model,
Oh, yeah.
is also predicted for 2025.
Uh-huh.
This thing's supposed to process over 1 million tokens of context
1 million.
and understand video.
That's a lot of data.
Yeah, so what does that even mean for, the average person?
So think about it this way.
Okay.
Imagine asking GPT-5 to summarize a really dense research paper
Okay.
or create a presentation based on video footage.
Right.
It could revolutionize how we consume and interact with information.
Okay, so it can actually understand video,
Uh-huh.
not just text.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That is pretty wild.
It is.
But there's also this prediction that Chinese AI will surpass U.S. models in 2025.
That's right.
I mean, that seems like a big deal.
Absolutely. It's not just about the technology either.
Go ahead.
It's about economic and global influence.
Right.
Whoever leads in AI development has a huge advantage in shaping the future.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And there's a lot of competition in this space.
For sure. Okay, let's take a break from the AI world for a second
Okay.
and dive into something a little different. Spatial computing.
Ah.
So we're talking about merging augmented reality, virtual reality,
Mhm.
and mixed reality to completely change how we interact with the digital world.
Yeah, it's going to blur the lines between the physical and the digital.
So this is like Microsoft HoloLens,
Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro,
Uh-huh.
but even more advanced.
Imagine learning surgery
Okay.
by practicing on a virtual patient
Wow.
or designing a building in a fully immersive 3D environment.
That sounds incredible, but also a little bit like science fiction.
I know, right?
Is this technology really that close?
It's closer than you might think.
Really?
Companies like Microsoft and Apple are already investing heavily in this space,
Oh.
and the advancements are happening rapidly.
But it's not just about, fancy gadgets, right?
Yeah.
There's this concept of ambient invisible intelligence.
Yeah.
That sounds a little creepy.
Maybe a little bit, but think of it this way.
Okay.
Your smart home anticipates your needs.
Okay.
It adjusts the lighting, the temperature, even plays your favorite music based on your mood.
Wow.
It's about making life more comfortable and efficient
Okay.
by seamlessly integrating AI into our environment.
So my house will basically become a robot butler.
In a way, yeah.
I can get behind that.
I think a lot of people would appreciate that.
For sure. But with all this amazing technology, isn't energy consumption a big concern?
That's a great question, and absolutely it's something we need to think about,
Yeah.
especially with data centers and AI using massive amounts of power.
Right.
Sustainability is crucial, and thankfully the tech industry is starting to take it seriously.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, we're seeing innovations in energy-efficient computing,
Okay.
with companies like Google leading the way in reducing their carbon footprint.
So they're setting a good example.
Hopefully others will follow.
And get this. Some experts believe that small nuclear reactors, or SMRs, could be the answer to the energy demands of AI.
Interesting.
They're supposedly safer and more efficient than traditional nuclear power plants.
It's a controversial topic, no doubt.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But as AI's energy needs continue to grow,
Right.
SMRs might become a more serious option on the table.
Okay, so let's get really futuristic now.
All right, I'm ready.
One prediction talks about neurological enhancement becoming increasingly common.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting.
We're talking brain-computer interfaces
Uh-huh.
that let us control devices with our thoughts
Wow.
and even enhance our cognitive abilities.
Like telekinesis and superintelligence.
Exactly.
It might sound like science fiction, but the potential is there.
Wow,
Imagine a world where paralysis isn't a barrier to movement,
that would be incredible.
or memory loss can be reversed with a brain implant.
It's mind-blowing.
It does raise some ethical questions, of course,
For sure.
but the possibilities are astounding.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, now I'm officially living in the future.
Me too.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, what about robots that can do it all?
Oh, yeah, the robots.
Polyfunctional robots capable of performing multiple tasks are predicted to become commonplace.
Like the Swiss Army knives of robots.
Exactly. So imagine a robot that can assist with surgery, clean your house, and make you a perfect cup of coffee.
Now, that's a robot I could get behind.
Right. It's pretty amazing. But
Yeah.
it does raise some questions about the future of work. I
Definitely.
mean, will robots replace human workers?
Uh-huh.
Or will they free us up for more creative tasks?
It's a complex issue that we need to start thinking about now.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got AI taking over some jobs, robots making us coffee, and mind-blowing technology advancing at an incredible pace.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore even more incredible predictions for the future of high tech.
I can't wait. Welcome back. We've covered some truly groundbreaking advancements, but we're just getting started.
I'm ready for more.
In this part, we're going to explore predictions that might seem like they're straight out of a science fiction movie.
Okay.
But as we've seen, the line between fiction and reality is becoming increasingly blurred.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's dive right in. One prediction that really caught my eye
Okay.
involves blockchain technology and the world of finance.
Blockchain.
It talks about a surge in blockchain tokenization.
That sounds pretty complicated.
It is a bit of a mouthful,
Yeah.
but it's actually a pretty simple concept with potentially huge implications.
Okay, I'm listening.
So imagine real-world assets
All
like
right.
real estate
What?
or company shares being converted into digital tokens on a blockchain.
Okay.
Instead of dealing with mountains of paperwork and intermediaries,
Right.
you could potentially buy a piece of property or invest in a company with just a few clicks.
It's like buying and selling stocks.
Exactly.
But for things like houses and businesses,
Precisely.
that's pretty revolutionary.
It has the potential to be.
What does this mean for the average person, though?
Well, it could democratize access to investment opportunities.
Okay.
Imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their income or location, could easily invest in a piece of a local business
Wow.
or a real estate development project.
That's pretty amazing.
It could really level the playing field.
Yeah, for sure. But what about Bitcoin?
Ah, yes, the OG cryptocurrency.
Any predictions for its future?
Well, one prediction suggests that Bitcoin could reach $250,000 in 2025.
Whoa, really?
That's a massive increase from its current value.
Yeah, no kidding.
But some analysts believe it's possible due to growing adoption by institutions
Okay.
and continued advancements in blockchain technology.
That's a wild ride I wouldn't mind being on.
I don't think anyone would.
But there's also prediction about quantum computers
Oh.
and their potential to crack Bitcoin's encryption.
Yeah, that's the dark side of quantum computing.
That's something we should be worried about.
It's definitely a valid concern.
Okay.
If a powerful enough quantum computer were to crack Bitcoin's encryption,
Yeah.
it could potentially destabilize the entire cryptocurrency market.
Wow, so security is still a major issue even with all these advancements.
Absolutely. Security is always going to be a cat and mouse game.
All right. Another prediction I found interesting is about governments requiring labels for AI-generated content
That's a big one.
with all the deepfakes and AI-written articles out there.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to know what's real.
It really is.
And that's why this is such a crucial step in combating misinformation.
Okay.
By mandating clear labels on AI-generated content,
Uh-huh.
we can empower people to make informed decisions about the information they consume.
It's like a nutrition label for information.
Exactly. You'll know exactly what you're getting.
I like that. And there's even a prediction that a country will appoint an AI official to participate in government discussions and decision-making.
Wow, an AI in the government.
It might sound futuristic,
It does.
but it highlights how seriously some governments are taking the impact of AI.
Yeah, they're realizing that AI is not just a technological issue.
Right.
It's a societal issue.
For sure.
And they need to be prepared for the challenges and opportunities it presents.
So what would this AI official actually do?
Well, the idea is that they would provide unbiased insights, analyze data,
Okay.
and potentially help governments make more informed and data-driven decisions.
An AI advisor, basically.
Yes,
That raises all sorts of questions about control and bias.
it does, and those are questions we need to be asking.
Absolutely. But let's move on to something a little more lighthearted.
All right, I'm ready for a break from the serious stuff.
Remember those humanoid robots we talked about?
The ones that can do chores and make coffee?
Yeah. Well, one prediction suggests that the first shipments of home-based humanoid robots will begin in 2025.
So robot butlers could become a reality in just a few years.
I wonder if they'll be any good at folding laundry.
That's the real question.
It is. Speaking of robots, there's also a prediction about China dominating the older generation chip market.
Interesting.
I thought the focus was on developing smaller and faster chips.
It is, but there's still a huge demand for older, more reliable chips in industries like automotive and industrial manufacturing.
Okay, so there's still a market for the classics.
Exactly. And China's ability to mass produce these older generation chips could give them a significant strategic advantage.
So it's not just about being on the bleeding edge of technology.
Right.
It's also about controlling the foundation.
That's a good way to put it.
That makes sense now for some truly mind-bending predictions.
Hit me with them.
One involves superconductors,
Okay.
those materials that can conduct electricity with zero resistance.
I remember learning about those in school.
Me too. Weren't they only effective at extremely low temperatures?
That's right, which has limited their practical applications.
Right.
But one prediction suggests that a scientific lab using AI-driven simulations will discover a superconducting material that works at close to room temperature in 2025.
Seriously.
It's a bold prediction,
It is.
but one that, if it comes true, would unlock incredible possibilities.
That would be revolutionary, imagine. Electronics that are incredibly efficient, requiring almost no energy to operate.
It could change everything from smartphones to power grids.
Wow. Okay, and finally, for all the gamers out there,
Yeah.
there's a prediction about a full 3D video game being built entirely using generative AI tools in 2025.
So the AI would design the levels, create the characters, and even write the story?
Exactly.
That's wild.
It could open up a whole new realm of possibilities for game development and storytelling.
Imagine games that are constantly evolving and adapting based on the player's choices.
Wow.
Or even games that are created on the fly, tailored to your specific interest.
That sounds like a gamer's dream come true.
It does, but it also makes me wonder about the future of human game designers.
Right. Will they become obsolete?
Or will they find new ways to collaborate with AI?
That's a fascinating question, and
Yeah.
one we'll likely be grappling with as AI becomes more integrated into creative fields.
Absolutely. It's a whole new world out there.
We've covered a lot of ground in this episode, from the potential of blockchain technology to the mind-blowing possibilities of AI and robotics.
It's been a whirlwind tour of the future.
And in the final part, we'll delve deeper into the broader societal implications of these advancements
Okay.
and what they mean for the future of humanity.
Sounds intense.
Stay tuned. And we are back for the final part of our deep dive into the future of high tech.
It's been a wild ride.
It really has. I mean, we've talked about robots, AI that can think for itself, even video games designed by algorithms.
Yeah, the future's getting weirder by the minute.
It is. So now I think it's time to shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and think about the bigger picture.
The big picture.
Yeah, like how is all this actually going to impact our lives?
Right, because it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it.
Exactly.
These innovations have the potential to reshape our world in some really profound ways, for better or for worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's start with something that really caught my attention.
Okay.
There's a prediction that an AI-produced film could win a major award at a film festival.
Like Cannes or Tribeca.
Exactly. Could AI actually replace human creativity in the arts?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't
It
it?
is. Will AI become a tool that enhances human creativity, or will it eventually become the creator itself?
Imagine a world where algorithms are composing symphonies, writing novels, even directing blockbuster movies.
I mean, that's both fascinating and a little unsettling.
I know, it's kind of creepy, right?
It is. I mean, art is such a human expression. It's hard
Yeah.
to imagine a machine replicating that.
Right, and that's where the real debate lies.
Okay.
What does it even mean for art to be created? What is the role of human emotion and experience in that whole creative process?
Yeah, these are definitely questions we'll need to grapple with as AI becomes more and more sophisticated.
No doubt about it.
Okay, so AI might be coming for Hollywood.
Oh,
But what about other industries?
well, there's another prediction that talks about the convergence of 3D modeling,
Okay.
digital twins, extended reality, and AI.
So is this just a bunch of tech jargon?
It sounds like a lot.
I know.
Yeah, or is there actually something real here?
No, this convergence is a pretty big deal,
Okay,
especially for businesses.
okay.
So think about digital twins for a second,
Right.
which are basically virtual replicas of physical objects or systems.
Okay, I'm following you.
So now combine those with AI and XR,
Uh-huh.
and you can basically simulate and optimize everything
Everything.
from factory operations to entire cities.
So you could test out different scenarios in a virtual world
Exactly.
before implementing them in the real one.
It's like a giant sandbox for innovation. That sounds incredibly powerful. But I'm also thinking of potential downsides.
Like what?
I mean, could all of this technological advancement lead to widespread job losses?
That's a legitimate concern, and it's something we need to be prepared for.
Okay.
As AI and automation become more sophisticated,
Yeah.
it's likely that many jobs currently done by humans could become automated.
It's a bit scary to think about, honestly.
I get it. It's a big change.
It is. What can we even do to prepare for these changes?
Well, I think education and retraining are going to be crucial.
Okay.
We need to focus on developing skills that are complementary to AI.
Okay, so like what kind of skills?
Skills that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
It's not just about learning to code.
No, it's about learning how to be adaptable and think critically in a world where technology is constantly changing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's also important to remember that technology is a tool.
Right.
We have a choice in how we use it. We can use AI to create a more equitable and sustainable world, or we can use it to exacerbate existing inequalities.
That's a really powerful thought. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the choices we make as a society.
Exactly. The future isn't something that just happens to us.
Wow.
It's something we create, and that's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
Well said, and I think that's a perfect note to end on this deep dive into the future of high tech has been eye-opening, to say the least.
I agree.
We've explored some incredible possibilities
Uh-huh.
and some potential challenges.
That's the nature of progress, I guess.
It is. But one thing is clear. The future is full of potential,
Absolutely.
and it's up to us to shape it responsibly.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the future of high tech.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, stay curious, stay informed, and keep asking the big questions.
The future is yours to create.